Artisan Storefronts, celebrating its first year anniversary, opening with a 6-week pilot in April of 2012. We featured over 80 artists in 3 runs that we've done. We have hosted over 25 live performances, including a performance festival. We have commissioned 3 permanent murals, and we've hosted dozens of community engaging walking tours and biking tours and festivals and opening receptions. Present, we have some of the core participants that have done multiple projects within Artisan Storefronts.
I had this idea to do this performance festival. We were super lucky to find this incredible space underneath the Los Amigos bodega.
When we approached this gentleman who owns basically this Mexican supermarket or bodega on the corner of Blaisdell and 28th, he had a vacant deli space right next to his supermarket. And initially I thought, well, it'd be really cool to animate the space with performance, because we couldn't really put fine art in there because it's open to the public, and but still, is there something we could do in here? And when we approached him to sort of talk about maybe doing something like performance, he said, well, just a minute, I might have another.
He took us downstairs and we almost cried because it was so perfect.
So basically this whole performance festival happened in the basement of the supermarket, but the basement is finished and dry, and it has 2 exits, and it's totally to code to be commercial, so it was kind of this unbelievable
It was just
underground
perfect.
theater space that we had no idea was going to happen that way. So that project totally anchored the 3rd round.
A friend of mine who knew about all of this told me I should try and apply for it, and I did. I built an installation with like horses back there, those riding horses. I did a couple of those, and had them flying around, and it just made a nice environment. And my experience in that was great. First off, I was just thrilled to be able to do an installation, because hardly any art galleries are open to installations anymore. Unfortunately, it only lasted 2 weeks.
They were there for 3 weeks, and the space was rented, and it had been vacant for nearly 5 years. We were really excited because that was actually, in my opinion, one of our first big victories, where it was obviously this is a wonderful opportunity for local artists to showcase their work in the public sphere, but part of the bigger picture is that this empty space is now, has a viable tenant in it. So, and that being said, in 8 months, 7 vacant spaces that had a combined vacancy of 15 years have acquired short and long-term leases. So it's really apparent at this point that doing this project is like a free staging service for businesses, and that having fine art in a window actually works to prick the interest of creative entrepreneurs.
I think one thing that usually is not touched on is, as much as this project helps the artists and storefront owners, the people who are walking around looking at the stuff are the ones who get the most out of it, I think. And the reason I say that is I spend a lot of my time just walking around and doing the photography that I would normally have done in Whittier, and I'm seeing all this stuff now, and I kind of get in the photo zone and not thinking along the lines of any of this stuff, and then I see that work and I'm like, I've seen that somewhere before. Oh yeah, I've seen it right there.
I got involved with it because I'm very new to the cities. I hadn't been here very long. It got a lot of people out on the streets walking around together who didn't know each other. So every time you had one of your tours, every time there was a group of people who walked around, for the most part, there were just this group of people who just ended up being put together for no other reason except for they wanted to go walk around and see all the cool stuff that everybody had. But it let people meet people that never met before.
So we have a call out for Artisan Storefronts 4. We won an MRAC Community Arts Grant, which is very exciting. This is the first grant that this project has received, as well as our second significant anonymous donation, which has been kind of amazing. So with those funds, we are doing a 4th run from June 1st to September 8th. I'm hoping that people will apply, people will tell their friends. If somebody's making some really cool stuff and they're maybe a little bit nervous about having a big show or trying to approach a gallery space, this is the perfect place for an emerging artist to take a chance and just make a display.